Hi. India's internet penetration has witnessed a significant growth in the last 10 years. From around 8% of Indian population having access to internet in year 2010, we are now at around 50% of our population having this access. But if you look at deeper into these numbers, you'll find that this growth has been led mostly by mobile. Penetration of mobile in every nook and corner of India has led to this growth, basically. At the same time, in wireline broadband, India lags behind the rest of the world significantly. If we compare ourselves with the rest of the world, we are at the bottom of every chart. Forget the rest of the world. Even if we compare ourselves with our neighbors, Bangladesh and Nepal, they have a better per capita penetration of wireline broadband compared to India. Now, before we answer the question, why is it so? Why is it so difficult for India to achieve penetration in wireline broadband? Let's first answer the question, do we even need wireline broadband? Is mobile not good enough? With services like 4G and 5G, why do we need wireline broadband in today's day and time? The answer is simple. Mobile works very well when you're outside, when you are on the go. But as soon as you go inside your homes, the connection deteriorates tremendously. And this deterioration has only aggravated itself by every passing generation of mobile technology. 2G worked very well in our homes, 3G was bad, 4G has been very bad, and 5G is not going to be any better. Secondly, mobile works on something called spectrum. And spectrum is a shared thing. What does it mean? It means the speed you get on your mobile device is directly proportional to the people latching on the tower at that point of time. So if there are 100 people latching on the tower at that point of time, your speeds get deteriorated by 100 times. So it is not a dedicated connection for you, it's a shared medium. So therefore, for small social media, watching your reels, surfing the internet, doing some chit-chat, mobile broadband is all right, and also when you're on the go. But when you're inside the home and you're doing some serious stuff like work from home, study from home, you're binge watching your favorite series on your smart TV or watching a movie on your smart TV, it's always going to be wireline broadband. No wonder nobody created a TV with a SIM tray till now. No TV has ever been created like that. All TVs have a Wi-Fi connection, although. Yeah, it's not just that. There is a World Bank study which shows 10% growth in wireline broadband of a country gives us 1% growth in GDP of that country. So there's a very direct correlation between wireline broadband growth of a country and economic development of that country. So therefore, if India has to continue its march towards becoming a developed nation, it is important that we have wireline broadband in this country. Now that we have established that it's very important to have wireline broadband, let's understand why has been there a problem till now in the penetration of wireline broadband in the country. What is the problem? What are we trying to solve? What are the impediments? Let's have a look at those. First and foremost, look at the gigantic size of the country. Millions of households. And to connect each and every household with a physical wire, it will take immense amount of capital. Millions, billions, trillions are not enough to do that. That's the first. Second, the nature of Indian cities. What do I mean by that? Look at any Indian city. It is 30-35% structured and 75 unstructured. What does it mean? By structure, I mean you have backlanes, you have utility shafts, you have multi-story building with proper permission for wiring, so on and so forth. But it's just 25% of our cities. Take Delhi, for example. 25% of Delhi looks like the picture on the left, while 75% of Delhi looks like picture on the right. So, telcos who were doing wireline in this country from last 2 decades always focused on the left side. Yeah, because it was very easy to do cabling there. It was very easy to save your assets once deployed there. And also, because affluent people live in those areas, it was better for your ROI. You could easily get your return on investment from the left side of the area. So, what did it do? It created a digital divide in the country. Do you understand? 75% of our urban population were devoid of any proper wireline broadband service. Nobody was going there. It was a digital apartheid that existed in India, and nobody talked about it. So, all my career, last 15 years, I was working with various wireline operators, various telcos, trying to solve this problem. Everywhere, we could never ever achieve our targets. Targets were basically of wireline rollout. It could never happen. And therefore, in 2015, to solve this specific problem, we started Excitel Broadband. And how did we solve it? What were our ways of solving this problem which no telco could solve till now? We used power of leverage. And what was the leverage we used in this case? The leverage was a businessman who is embedded in an ecosystem of every Indian city. And this businessman is called cable operator. Cable operators have been running cable TV services, wireline cable TV services, taking physical wire to each and every household from last 3 decades in the country. They have been doing it through coaxial wires, of course. But nonetheless, the networks work. They are able to deploy the assets on the ground, and they are able to maintain the assets on the ground, more importantly. So we envisage the business model in which cable operator does the cabling part for our behalf. Okay, not coaxial this time around. This time it's fiber to home, because it has to be world-class service. Otherwise, what's the point of giving the service? So we do the designing. The cable operator invests in the last mile, deploys in the last mile, and then maintains the last mile. Then we merge cable operator with the Excitel network. Excitel controls all the customer touch points, whether it is sales, whether it is customer onboarding, whether it is customer retention, whether it is customer service. All touch points are retained by Excitel, while his cable operator just does what he is good at. That is laying the fiber on the ground, first investing in fiber, then laying the fiber on the ground, and maintaining fiber eventually. Now, it also helps that 80% of all capex in this business is in the last mile. So we offloaded this last mile investment to hundreds and hundreds of cable operators around the country. For example, in Delhi, we have 800 such partners, connected to our core network. They have done cabling in their areas and are providing services to more than 500,000 users that we have in Delhi right now. Now, another issue that we had to resolve was how to provide uniform service across so many partners. It can very well happen that you have 800 partners and you have 800 types of service across the city. That's not sustainable. For any business to sustain, any business to scale, you have to have similar quality of service. Okay, even if it's average quality of service, but it has to be similar. Then only it can be scaled. So to achieve that similar quality of service, we deployed technology. We encoded most of our processes through software. We deployed a lot of IT, a lot of tech, so as to bind cable operator and company in a symbiotic relationship. So cable operator is specifically given orders or given instructions through an app. He has to specifically in a certain time do his job and close the ticket. So with this combination of technology and prowess of cable operator to control the ground, we have made a winning combination called Excitel. Today, Excitel is among the fastest growing wireline operators in the country. Actually, we're the third largest after Airtel and Jio. Now, consider billions and billions of dollars Airtel and Jio has invested on the streets of India, and we, with our paltry 200 million, have achieved third rank in the country. Now, this tells you power of leverage. What you can do with leverage is unparalleled. And now this leverage was used by all other telcos also, because ultimately their coffers, they may have billions on their balance sheets, but not unlimited amount of money. So after seeing our success, in 2 or 3 years, they also started using the same model of cable operators for delivery of last mile. Because of this change that occurred in the ecosystem, using this leverage, today wireline broadband is growing at a significant pace in the country. Now, it's not just telcos, it's not just wireline operators that have used leverage effectively. All high growth startups that you see that are successful in the country have used leverage to take on traditional businesses. They have used leverage embedded in their ecosystem identify that leverage, use that leverage to take on traditional businesses and actually take over the market. The examples are here, whether it is Uber for cabs, whether it is Airbnb for hotels, or Grofers for grocery. And many startups have done this. Ultimately, used power of leverage to take on the market. I'm reminded of a quote by Archimedes who said, "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand on the stand, and I'll move the earth." And I'm telling you, find the business problem that you want to solve. Identify your leverage and conquer the world. Thank you.